students, so today in this video we are going to learn about how to balance a chemical equation. For example, if I write one chemical equation, magnesium plus oxygen. When the magnesium reacts with the oxygen, it will form magnesium oxide. But if you look at the equation carefully, you will find that the number of atoms in the left hand side is not equal to the number of atoms in the right hand side. Here you see magnesium 1, here magnesium 1. The magnesium is balanced. But here you see the oxygen 2, here oxygen 1. So it is not in the balanced state. So we need to balance the chemical equation. Now the question is that why do we need to balance the chemical equation? So from the law of conservation of mass, we know that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. So in a chemical reaction, the amount of the mass in the reactant side should be equal to the amount of the mass in product side. For example, in case of chemical reaction, the left side of this arrow, it is called reactants. Here two reactants are present, and the right side of this arrow, it is called product. And according to the law of conservation of the mass of the reactant should be equal to the mass of product. So to satisfy the law of conservation of mass, we need to balance the chemical equation. Now generally, students what they do, they try to balance the chemical equation by heat and trial method. So randomly they choose number, they write this side 2, this side 3, and they try to balance. So in this video, I am going to provide some tricks to balance the chemical equation. Now these tricks will be applicable for almost all the equations. So whichever equations given in your class 10 syllabus, this trick will be applicable for all the equations. So whenever we will be trying to balance the chemical equation, first always try to balance the metals. Okay, then after metal, try to balance the non-metals. First you try to balance the metal, then non-metal, then oxygen, and then hydrogen. So this trick remember, whenever you try to balance the chemical equation, first try to balance the metal, then non-metal, then oxygen, and always at last try to balance the hydrogen. For example, metals example, what are the metals? Sodium is metal, potassium is metal, calcium is metal, magnesium is metal, aluminum is metal. So there are many more metals, isn't it? Whereas non-metals, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, nitrogen, all these are non-metals. Carbon, all these are non-metals. See, oxygen also non-metal, hydrogen also non-metal. But when you try to balance, first balance the metal, then non-metal other than oxygen and the hydrogen, then second last oxygen, and then hydrogen. So this trick remember, this sequence remember. Okay. Now with the help of examples, I will show how to balance. Okay. So remember, first you have to try to balance the metals, then non-metals, then oxygen, then hydrogen. Hydrogen will be at last. Now with the help of some examples, we will see how to balance the chemical equation without trying the heat and trial method. Now for example, before I have written one example, that one only I am taking. Magnesium plus oxygen, they will form what? MgO, magnesium oxide. Now you count the number of atoms in the left hand side and the right hand side. Here you see, what is the number of magnesium? Okay, first you find out the metal. Which one is the metal here? Magnesium is the metal. But magnesium is present already in balanced state, isn't it? Now you try to balance the non-metal. So other than oxygen and the hydrogen, there are no non-metals, isn't it? Only oxygen is the non-metal. So here oxygen how many? 2. Here oxygen how many? 1, isn't it? So that is why you have to put 2 here. Now whenever you are putting any number, then you have to start from the beginning. Beginning means what? That one. First metal, then non-metal, then oxygen and hydrogen. Now you see, when I put this 2 before the magnesium, now this side magnesium becomes 2, but this side is 1. So what you have to do? You have to write 2 here. Now again you check. the balance metals are balanced or not. Magnesium 2, magnesium 2, oxygen 2, oxygen 2. So now this reaction becomes balanced. So in this way we can balance the chemical equations. Now from our NCERT textbook I will be taking some more examples, and we will see with this trick we can balance or not. So this is our NCERT example. HNO3 plus CaOH2 means calcium hydroxide, then CaNO32 plus what? Now this reaction we will try to balance. Okay. So first you have to identify in this reaction which are metal, which are non-metal, you have to identify. Now you look in this reaction, which one is the metal? Calcium is the metal, isn't it? But calcium is already present this side, left hand side, reactant side calcium 1, product side also calcium 1. So that trick was what? First metal. So in this case metal is in the balanced state, isn't it? Now non-metal. Among the non-metals also, other than oxygen and the hydrogen, we have to select. Oxygen will be second last and the hydrogen will be last. Now you see the non-metals. Here nitrogen is the non-metal, this side also nitrogen is the non-metal. Now count how many nitrogen is present in the left hand side, how many nitrogen is present in the right hand side. Here you see in the reactant side the number of nitrogen is 1. But here what is the number of nitrogen? Here 2. These 2 is the common for both nitrogen and the oxygen, okay? So here nitrogen is present how many? 2. So now here you put 2. So whenever you are putting the numbers, always start from the beginning. First check the metal. Metal calcium 1, calcium 1. Then the non-metal other than oxygen and the hydrogen. So nitrogen is the non-metal, isn't it? So this side become 2, this side also it became 2. Now next what you have to do? You have to balance the oxygen. Now you count the number of oxygen. Here oxygen how many is present? 3 2s are 6. So 6 oxygen is present. Plus 2. 6 plus 2, 8 oxygen. This side how many? 3 2s are 6 plus 1 means 7. Isn't it? See again. Here oxygen 3 2s are 6 plus 2 means 8. This side oxygen is present 8. But this side oxygen how many? 3 2s are 6 plus 1 7. So oxygen is not in the balanced form. So what you have to do? You just put 2 here. Now you see the oxygen also became balanced. Now you see 3 2s are 6, 8 oxygen. 3 2s are 6 plus 2 8. 3 2s are 6 plus 2 8 oxygen. Now the oxygen also became balanced. Now again you start always whenever you are putting the number, always start from the beginning. Start from the check. Verify from the metals. Metal calcium 1, calcium 1. Then the non-metal nitrogen. Nitrogen here how many? 2. Here also nitrogen 2. Now oxygen. Oxygen how many? 3 2s are 6 plus 2 8. 3 2s are 6 plus 2 8. Now check the hydrogen. Hydrogen this side how many is present? See 2 hydrogen plus 2 hydrogen. That means left hand side 4 hydrogen. Right hand side check. 2 2s are. That means now the reaction became balanced. So this trick, remember, this trick will be very helpful in solving all the reaction. Now this reaction is in balanced state. Now we will take some more example from our NCERT textbook. Okay. Now next one, sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid, we will form Na2SO4 plus what? Now again check. First you identify which are metals here. Here you see in this reaction, what is the metal? Metal is the sodium. Now try to balance the metal. Remember this trick, okay? Metal, then non-metal, then oxygen, then hydrogen. So here sodium is how many? 1. Here sodium is how many? 2. So this side sodium is less, isn't it? So put 2 here. Now sodium is balanced. Now try to balance the non-metal other than oxygen and hydrogen. So which one is the non-metal? Sulfur is the non-metal. Here sulfur how many? 1. This side sulfur how many? 1. So sulfur also balanced. Now try to balance the oxygen. Oxygen check. 2 oxygen plus 4 oxygen. That means left hand side oxygen is 6. Isn't it? But this side oxygen how many? 4 oxygen plus 1. This side oxygen is 5. That means this side number of oxygens are less. So here you put 2. Now you check 2 oxygen plus 2 oxygen. That means oxygen became 6. So oxygen is balanced, isn't it? Now last what you have to balance? We have to balance the hydrogen. So hydrogen this side how many? 2 hydrogen plus 2 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen. This side 2 2s are 4 hydrogen. Now this reaction became balanced. You can verify again. 2 sodium, 2 sodium. Sulfur 1, sulfur 1. Oxygen 2 plus 4, 6. Oxygen 4 plus 2, 6. Hydrogen 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen means 4. 2 2s are 4. Now the reaction is balanced. So this trick is very helpful. Easily you can solve or you can balance all the chemical equations without doing the heat and trial method. Heat and trial method is very tedious task also. We have to randomly you have to put the number, then you have to check whether balanced or not. This trick is the best I found. Next, one more example I will be taking. This is all our NCERT examples, okay? And balancing chemical equation very important. So sodium chloride plus silver nitrate, they will form silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. So this is the reaction given. Now we will try to balance. Same trick will be applied. First you find out which are metals given. Here you see sodium is the metal and the silver is the metal. Now check sodium left hand side 1, this one sodium left hand side, right hand side 1. Now check silver, silver 1, silver 1. Now try to balance the non-metal other than oxygen and hydrogen. So chlorine is the non-metal, chlorine 1, chlorine 1. Nitrogen 1, nitrogen 1. Then try to balance the oxygen. Oxygen this side 3, this side 3. That means this reaction is already balanced. The number of atoms in the left hand side and the number of atoms in the right hand side are same. So this reaction is already balanced. There are no need to balance the chemical equation. It is already present in the balanced state. Now one more example I will be taking so that you will be more confident and clear. See, number D. For example, barium chloride plus sulfuric acid, they will form barium sulfate plus hydrochloric acid. So same. So which one is the metal? So barium is the metal. Here also barium is the metal. Barium 1, barium 1. Now try to balance the non-metal, but other than oxygen and hydrogen. So which one is the non-metal? Sulfur is the non-metal, chlorine is the non-metal. This side chlorine how many? 2. This side chlorine how many? 1. So put 2 here. Now again start from the beginning. Barium 1, barium 1. Then try to balance the non-metal, but it has to be other than oxygen and the hydrogen. Chlorine 2, this side chlorine 2 balanced. Sulfur 1, sulfur 1 balanced. Now try to balance the oxygen and hydrogen. First try to balance the oxygen and at last try to balance the hydrogen. Now check. Here oxygen how many? 4. Here oxygen how many? 4. Oxygen also balanced. Now hydrogen here how many? 2. Here hydrogen how many? 2. So the reaction became balanced. So if you follow this trick, this will be very helpful for you to balance the chemical reaction. So once again, why do we need to balance the chemical equations? To satisfy the law of conservation of mass. So I think this trick will be helpful for you. So if you have any doubt, or confusion, let me know in the comment section. Thank you.